My name is John Devine. I run a multifamily office for wealthy families. My family is my wife and 2 children.
I'm Margo Devine. I'm married to John. We have 2 children, Carter and Hannah. Carter is our oldest, who is 14, and Hannah is 11. John and I just celebrated our 19th wedding anniversary. So we're one little happy family. We have always been on the lookout for kidney disease in my husband's family because his sister was diagnosed in her early 20s with kidney disease. Although it was hereditary within his family, his kidney disease was not caused by that family problem. It was caused by high blood pressure.
You know, I had some high blood pressure. I was in a stressful job. You know, I need to probably get some insurance for my family because we had young kids, and I wanted to get more permanent insurance because all I really had was term. And I had blood tests done, and the results came back, and they said, "You got a problem." I tried to manage it through diet, not necessarily very successfully, but I did try to manage it through diet and through trying to do more exercise.
And it all we thought was working quite well. His diet was seriously restricted. John loves to cook, and he loves to cook very elegant gourmet meals, and we entertained, you know, often. And he lost some of that desire because he was so restricted.
Well, I mean, they don't tell you it's inevitable. But I do think they make it pretty clear that, you know, we'll stave it off as long as possible, but there is going to become a time, most likely, that you're going to have to face the object of dialysis or finding a kidney donor.
All seemed to be going well in the first year or so, and then he progressively got worse. His kidneys were failing on him, and it affected every part of his life.
As it progressed, you just get exhausted. And so I missed the kids as far as homework, helping with dinner, you know, just doing things with them, whether it's just throwing the ball or, you know, getting interested in their day.
When John came home from the doctor one afternoon, he said it's time for us to look for a donor. He knew that I wanted to be a donor for him.
I was very concerned about my family, and Margo, you know, was excited about doing it, which I was very nervous about because of the kids.
They didn't know the seriousness of what was happening, and a lot of that is, you know, we just didn't feel the need to share it with them at that point.
We didn't tell them. We didn't tell them. Life needs to move on.
I went through a lot of reflection, thinking about both parents going through surgery at the same time.
You know, Margo really just pushed forward and saying this is the best candidate.
I wasn't afraid because I have a strong faith, and John has a strong faith, and I knew that no matter what, everything would be okay. 20-some odd years ago, when John's sister Gigi had her first kidney transplant, it was not the same process.
And then you move to where we are today, and the incisions weren't that big of a deal. I was out of the hospital in a week.
It's been the best thing I've ever done, and it's the best thing I think that's ever happened to me and John together.
And Margo was out of the hospital in 2 days, 3 days, and the amount of, you know, intrusion wasn't that large.
Within, I would say, a week to a week and a half, I was walking around. I was driving, and all was well. I
feel great. I feel great. You know, I'm really concentrating on the diet, concentrating on exercise. But as far as, you know, any fatigue, it's not there 24/7. I can do whatever I want to do. So the quality of life has, you know, increased 100-fold.
So, you know, you're born, hopefully, with 2 kidneys. You only need one to live a healthy life. And I've got my one, and he's got the other one. Thank God.
And that awareness that the National Kidney Foundation does is critically important. So that to me was the important thing that was out there, is that this is something that we can do something about.
You're offering life to someone. And I say that not just to the kidney recipient, but to their family. You're giving them back a husband, a father, you know, son, a friend, and I do it. That's what I would just highly recommend it.
To the donors, all I can say is, you know, just thank you so much, and having people understand that it can happen to you, not just the person next door, and to understand of the impact of what your dollars do and what your time does. All those people are critical to that message, and without them, you know, we wouldn't be here tonight. So I thank everybody for that.